Hey, what's up guys, it's Modern Warfare here, Gamertag Banjo Chicken, and welcome to a computer tutorial for a change, not Xbox related. So anyway, I thought it would be good to start just 3 tutorials on how to get onto admin accounts at work, college or school, because it's quite a useful thing to know how to do, because certainly helped me on my college course when we were supposed to be using programs like Movie Maker for video editing and paint.net for image editing, and when I got onto the admin accounts I could install cracked Photoshop and cracked Sony Vegas, which helped out a lot. So and not only that, but you can having admin privileges over the computer is pretty awesome. So I'm going to show you guys uh, 2 methods of how to do this. Method 1 in this video, method 2 in the next video. The first method is does not require any other tools. You can run it completely in Windows, and the second method does require tools, but it's a lot faster to do. So you can take your pick of which one you prefer to do. I'd probably suggest the second method actually, because if you're in school or something, or college, you may not be on the computers for a very long time, so it does take quite a while to do this. Obviously I'll speed things up for the purposes of this tutorial, but it will be very slow, whereas method 2 will be a lot faster, but does require some extra tools and programs. So also method 3 is not going to be method 3, but there's going to be a third part of this tutorial showing you how to get the desktop background changed, because most workplaces or businesses or schools and colleges all have their same background on every single computer, and it's usually a pretty dull, boring background. So I'll be showing you guys how to change that, even though the background's locked and you can't seem to change it normally through personalization. So anyway, other operating systems I'm not sure about, so this is for Windows 7 only. I have not tried it on other operating systems yet. So I'm not entirely sure. Now, most likely on a college or school or network, anything on a domain, work or whatever, business, will have their user account set up like this, so you have to type in the username and the password. So we want to get onto the administrator account, or make our own account administrator privileged. Now, I don't know the account name. It says the username or password is incorrect, and most likely most places to add security, what they'll do is they won't even use the default administrator account, but it can't be deleted from the computer as far as I know. So instead of deleting it, what they do is disable it, so you can't sign into it at all. Even if you get the password right, you still can't sign into it because it's disabled, and then they'll have their own set up administrator accounts on the computers themselves. So the idea is to either get onto the administrator account, re-enable it, find out the password or change the password, or make our own accounts administrator privileged. So here's what we're going to do. What we're going to do is change sticky keys to a command window. I'll explain why later. Basically, when you press shift key 5 times, you end up with this sticky keys message that pops up on the screen. And what you want to do, we're going to change this to a command window. And like I say, I'll explain later why we need to do this and what it does. So I am using a virtual machine. Unfortunately, I can't do this on a physical machine because basically I can't record and do it at the same time, because it requires restarting the computer and going into like boot options and stuff. So it's unfortunately I have to use a virtual machine. I have no choice, but obviously if you'd be using a proper machine, and I would show you what to do. So what you want to do is basically you want to go and shut down the computer. So go and click to shut down, and then immediately hold the power button to power off the machine. On a virtual machine I just shut it down, but on a real machine what you do is shut down the computer and hold in the power button until it turns off. So when you go and power on the computer again, you should end up with this message. And sometimes it will be this message, which is not the one you really want. So what you want to do is hold Control Alt Delete, Control Alt Delete this virtual machine. My bad. Okay, so we do this and it will start to restart it. So start Windows normally, and then Control Alt Delete it to restart, and you want to keep doing that. So basically every time the computer gives you the safe mode options, which is not what you want to hold Control Alt Delete, which will restart the computer until eventually you end up with this screen which says launch startup repair or start Windows normally. You want to launch startup repair, and I'll speed this up obviously a little bit. Takes all the drivers are installed, especially like the graphics drivers. You can see the mouse is still glitching around. So what you should end up with is a message saying, do you want to use system restore? You want to say cancel. You don't want to use system restore. Okay guys, let me just full screen that. Right, so basically once we're done we should end up with this screen. Now what can sometimes happen is this will not pop up. If this does not pop up the first time, I hate to say it, but what you have to do is restart the computer, do the same thing we did before, and launch startup repair a second time, and on the second time it should succeed. Or if we're lucky enough, it should happen the first time and we end up with this screen. And what you want to do is just view problem details, scroll down to the bottom and click this X Windows System 32 ENUS text document. And then what you want to do is go File, Open, and this allows us a little exploit that allows us to edit stuff in the hard drive. So we go over to Computer. Well, it won't be necessarily the C drive. It may be, it should be the drive called local disk, but it may not be the letter C, even though it's called local disk. We normally associate local disk with local disk C, but it might be a different letter. But it's local disk, and then you want to go into Windows, scroll down, and what you want to do here actually is change the files of type to all files. This will let us see everything in here. So this is Windows, and then we want to go down to find System 32 folder, and then in here we've got all of these files, and you want to scroll down for the command prompt, which is cmd.exe. There's usually a lot of stuff in the System 32 folder. There's loads. So we reach the CMD, and what you want to do is just copy and paste it, and you'll see cmd-copy. Then you want to go down and find something called sethc, or sethc, that was right. And this is the sticky keys. See, it says shortcut keys. This is sticky keys. What you're going to do is rename this to a 1 at the end, just so it's a different name. You could call it whatever you want, but I just put 1 there because I can. And CMD again, we'll go back to CMD and we should find our copy that we made. Okay, so when we find the CMD copy, we want to then rename this to sethc. And what this effectively does is when you press Shift 5 times to go into sticky keys, it will launch the command prompt instead. And command prompt is a very powerful tool when you know certain commands, or when you know how to use it properly. So once you have changed that, you can then just click cancel, X, don't send, and then finish. And then what it will do is restart the computer again, or not, it may just shut it down. I think it shuts it down, you just have to start it back up again. So we'll let this boot back up as it does. Okay guys, so now we get back onto the login screen. What we're going to do is press Shift 5 times, and instead of loading up sticky keys we end up with a command window. Now you may think, what's the point of this? It'll all be access denied. Well, what people don't seem to realize is that you are actually signed into an account before you log in. And you might think, well, what? How can you be signed into an account before you've even logged into an account? But you are actually signed into an account called system, and to prove this you can type in explorer.exe when you're in the login screen like I am now, press enter, give it a sec, and as you can see here it's actually launched up the start menu while I'm still in the login screen. So if I go and click on, as you can plainly see, I'm still in the login screen. I haven't logged in yet, but I can go on the start menu and I'm signed into an account called system. So there's your proof that you are actually signed into an account before you even log into your computer, to your account or whichever account you're trying to get into. And this system account is an administrator, which is what you want. Just press shift 5 times because I lost the command window there. There we go. My bad. Got 2 of them up now. Just get rid of one. Oh, get rid of this one. Okay, so you don't have to launch that start menu explorer.exe only if you want to. That was just to prove that you're signed into an account before you log in. So what you can do now is start. You've got full administrator privileges of this command window. This command window is fully administrator privileged, so you will get no access denied messages from whatever you try to do, or you shouldn't anyway. So okay, so let's take the administrator account for example. So right now I do not know the administrator account. Spelled that wrong. Hold on. Administrator. Right. So it's incorrect. Okay. Alright, so in fact I can just type in CMD now that I've got this on, and this one. So now what we can do is edit it. So say I want to change the administrator password, or first of all let's check the user account. So net users gives me all the accounts on this computer. So we've got administrator, my account called Lee, and the guest account. Guest account's a bit irrelevant right now, and then we can look at what users are administrators. So if you type net local group administrator, okay, there we go, sorry about that. Okay, so it says administrator. That's the only account that's actually an administrator account, which means if I type in net users, net local group users, these are it's just my account, that's a user. So my account standard administrator is administrator privileged. So I'm just going to type in CLS to clear all of that text. And now what we're going to do is change the administrator password. So we type in net user administrator space and then shift 8, which makes that little star symbol, and then you press enter. Say type a new password for the user. So I'm going to type in hello123. It's a decent strong password, and it doesn't show the text as you type it in, but believe me, your keystrokes are being registered. So then you press enter and it'll tell you to confirm it. So HELLO123, enter. Command completed successfully. So now we've changed the password for the administrator account to hello123. So if I type in hello123 and administrator, enter, instead of telling me the password's incorrect, it's now telling me your account has been disabled. Please see your system administrator. You may not have this problem if the account's enabled, but the account is disabled right now. So the administrators of my network have obviously, or my school or work or college, wherever you are, have disabled the default administrator account. So how do we re-enable it? Well, first of all, to tell that it's disabled, if you type in net user administrator, or the name of the administrator account, it will say account active no. So to change it to yes, to make the account active, we type in net. In fact, let me just clear that text. Type in net user administrator / active, and then yes. So just like that. Enter. You've entered invalid. Ooh. Actually, maybe it has to be no spaces, just yes. There we go. My bad. That was an error I made. You're not supposed to have a space between the active and the yes. So type it in like that. Now it says the administrator account is active. So if I go back and type in net user administrator, it now says account active yes. So now if I type in hello 123, access granted, and you're on the administrator account. So it's a pretty cool thing that you can do that, but as you can see, I'm on the administrator account. Yeah, full access, so great. But what you can also do is change your own account to administrator. So if you're a bit worried that you might get caught being on the administrator account, you can change your own account to be an administrator. The only bad thing about this is when you're on a kind of school or college or work, business, computer system, the way the accounts are set up is they're all on a server, a domain, and they're not on the computer itself. So this computer's not on a domain, it's just a virtual machine, so I can't really simulate this very well. But basically, if you type in net users or net local group users, so there's Lee, which is my account, which is a standard user. It's not an administrator account. But on a domain, then you'd probably have something like the domain name. Say it was just like ITC college or something like that. Okay, then the domain might be called ICT /domain users. So that would be your user account. So if you change that domain to an administrator account, it changes every account on that computer to administrator. So every student, every work colleague's account on that computer would be administrator privileged. So you may think that's kind of bad because then everybody's going to be administrator and they're going to find me out. But on the other hand, you can always put it back to a standard user after you've done it. So I'm going to make my account administrator just now. So all I'm going to do is type in net local group administrators. Then oh god, it's the American system of the keyboard. I didn't realize I forgot to change that. Net local group administrators, then your username. So there's the standard user. Damn it, that American keyboard. Anyway, so yeah, like that. Or if you were on a domain, it would be like something / domain users or something like that. And then you type in / add. And now if I type in net, or in fact I can just, if I type in net local group administrators, my account is now part of the administrators group. So I can sign into my own account on the network. And my account is now administrator privileged. Just to prove that, I'll go in here, administrator. So that's how you change your own account. But if you're worried that that's going to change everybody's account on that computer, not just yours, what I do at my own college is once I'm done, once it's the end of the day or the end of the class, then I just, before I log off, because I'm an administrator, I can just go on the command prompt and I type in the same code as I did before, net local group administrators forward slash, no, sorry, net local group administrators, my account name, or the domain users if you're on a domain, which you probably will be, and then forward slash, but instead of add we put delete, and that removes it from the administrators. So now if I go back to net local group administrators, my account's not a part of the administrators anymore, and if I go back, control panel, user accounts, user, standard user again. So that's how you do it, guys. That is how you get onto the administrator account or change your own account to administrator on a school, college or work computer. It can be very, very useful. Please stay tuned for method 2, because I know this first method is quite inconvenient for a lot of people because it takes quite a long time to do the startup and repair thing. So please watch method 2, where I will be actually showing you a faster way of doing it. It's the same kind of method, but you don't use startup repair. It's faster, but it does require some extra tools and stuff, which I'll show you how to download and where to get it from and how to set it all up. But it is quicker to actually get onto the administrator account, a lot quicker. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you liked this video. If you find, I've got lots of stuff. I haven't really got that much computer tutorials on my channel. It's mostly kind of Xbox modding kind of stuff, modding, hacking, that kind of thing. So yeah, you can subscribe if you want. Appreciate it. Like the video if you liked it and found it useful. Comment if you've got any questions, and of course I'll hopefully see you guys in my next video. Please watch method 2, and yeah, see you guys next time.
This is really how we live.